Today is October 27th, 2015. Um, okay, let's see. When were you born?
May 20th, 1935.
May 20th, 19. Okay. Where were you born?
A little town south of Columbus called Basil, Basil. It's no longer there. It's been merged with another little town called Baltimore.
Okay.
It's about 35 miles between Columbus and Lancaster.
Okay. Tell me about your childhood. Like favorite memories, places you used to go, activities, etc.
My childhood in Basil, Ohio, I don't remember much of anything at all except moving from there to my grandparents' house in Columbus. From Columbus, I moved to Sheffield Lake for about a year, and then we moved into the projects out on North Central Drive. That's where I spent most of my youth.
Anything about like adolescence, like in those years?
Well, I lived there from about 1942 to 53, 54, probably 54. I graduated from high school in 53, Lorraine High, and I still lived in the at North Central Drive at that time. So.
Okay. What year did you graduate?
53.
Okay. So you didn't go to the war.
No.
Were you in Did you go to the army for like Vietnam or Korea?
I was in the Army Reserve from 1958 to 64.
Okay. Tell me about your first job.
My first job?
Yeah. Like, was it the Lorraine Telephone Company or?
No, my first job was with, I think probably the Tivoli Theater. I worked there as an usher. I was still in high school. And then from that I went to the new A&P store that was out on South Broadway. Left there at the Tivoli at 50 cents an hour and went to work at A&P for 75 cents an hour. I stayed at the A&P for 2 years until I graduated from high school. Then I went to work for the Lorraine Telephone Company as a summer employee when I was going to college.
Where did you go to college?
I started out at Case Tech in Cleveland. I spent a year and a half there, and then I dropped out. And then in 1965, after I was off for about 10 years, I went back to class it was then Finn College, and changed into Cleveland State University, going to night school for 7.5 years. Got my engineering degree there.
Oh, okay. What led you to your dropout of college the first time? Like, what was the reason?
Mostly the amount of being away from home. I couldn't live on campus. I had to live up in Cleveland Heights. Didn't have a car. I had to walk. Was having an average experience in school. I mean, I just had the feeling that I could go to work and make some money and make more money than I would if I graduated, because at that time that was the case.
So you wanted the more money?
Well, I just was kind of like fed up with the whole college experience.
Were your grades affected by it?
Were my grades affected by it?
Yeah.
Dropping out?
No. Like before, like were you getting good grades or bad grades?
Well, they were B's and C's.
Oh, okay. So like an average student.
Yeah.
Okay. After college, tell me what you did.
I went to work full time for a telephone company.
Oh, okay.
Telephone.
Can you tell me your experiences there, like memories?
I started out as a switchman, which maintained the dial equipment that was in the central office. I then went to was promoted eventually to senior switchman. From that, I went to a PBX installer, repairman, which worked with the business community and with the PBX boards and things of that sort. Put in key systems and that kind of work. From that, while I was working, I was promoted to special services coordinator, which meant it was the early phases of data in the telephone business. Data was coming into being at that time, so, and it got involved in electronics and a number of other things. So eventually, I was promoted to plant extension engineer.
What did they do?
They the ones that plan the additions and growth for the central office part. Ultimately, I ended up as design manager, network design manager for the telephone company. That took care of the inside plant, that's the switching equipment, the outside plant, which is the cables and fiber optics and things of that sort. So, and I was in that position when our company was sold to Century Tel down in Monroe, Louisiana, and I assumed the same position with I was network design manager for them.
Okay. Any colleagues you want to talk about? Like, did you have friends there?
Yeah, I went to night school. Well, I knew some people there that were in classes with me, but it wasn't like a normal college experience where you
No, I was talking about
go during the
the
classes and you have.
go to work. I was talking about your work.
Did I have friends when I was at work?
Yeah, like,
Sure.
can you name a few?
One that was, he just passed away, as a matter of fact, was Harry Walker. He was same as me. He was a switchman in PBX and proceeded into management. He was just a good friend. I had some good friends that worked for me. Gary Zakrasik was an outside plant engineer. He was a good man. Bob Wadsworth, who was the supervisor in the old PBX, he was a fellow that you could count on to take care of you and do what was right. There were quite a few people that I met at the telephone company
Oh, okay.
that I consider friends. The most recent one is probably Harold Boone. We retired at the same time. Our retirement party was the same.
So
Yeah.
when was it?
When was I retired?
You retired? When did you retire?
1997. Yeah.
So how long you been working there? And so there
I
tonight.
worked there about 42 years.
Okay, so 42 years. How was the pay?
Well, I started there at $1.30 an hour. That was in 1954, and it got better.
It got better
It got
as you got promoted.
Well, through union contracts and that sort of stuff, it progressed.
Okay.
And it ended up pretty good at the end. So.
What else? Did you live anywhere else other than here? Like, when did you start living here and like other living places?
My wife and I moved here when our daughter was born, and that was in 1959. Moved to this house.
Oh, okay.
And we put an addition on it. That beyond the staircase there is an addition that was put on. Oh Lord, can't remember when it was. It's been about 20 years. It's been on there, so 1990. Before I retired, so that was probably 95, 94, 95 or something like that. That addition was put on.
You said you had a daughter. Do you have any more kids?
I have a son as well. My daughter is lives in Catawba Island. Her husband is a dentist. They met in the University of Toledo. They have 2 children. Courtney is in dental school now. She's in her, I think, beginning her 3rd year of dental school. And Steve, it's their son.
That's your son?
It's their son.
What?
It's, my grandson. He's a senior in Oakland High School.
You have a grandson?
Yeah.
So they're...
Well, Courtney is a granddaughter.
Oh, okay.
I have a son also, Dave.
Okay. Tell me about him.
He's a loan officer for First Federal of Lakewood.
And tell me about your daughter again.
She's she's the office manager for my son-in-law, but she's active in the school activities in high school and all that kind of stuff.
What's her name?
Catherine, Kathryn.
Can you spell that again?
Kathryn.
Okay. What else? Did your wife recently pass away?
Yes, passed away in February.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that was... Okay. And, what was your... Actually, no, I'm not gonna go there. Were you involved in any, events? Like, historical events that came on? Like, was there riots or... Wasn't there a riot?
At Cleveland State?
No, in Lorraine. Like...
Not that I recall.
I don't know. I wasn't born. I was born around you while you retired. Tell me about your religious beliefs.
I'm a member of the Episcopal Church here in Lorraine, Church of the Redeemer. I've been a member since I was about 15 years old.
Oh,
We went there to play, friends and I went there to play basketball for the church team.
Oh, you played basketball.
Well,
You
there's more to that story than just, we went there to play basketball. We won 1 game that year, and that's because the other team didn't show up. So we weren't a very good team, but it got us together, and the priest at the church said he needed some altar servers, called acolytes, and he asked us if we would do it, so I became an acolyte and served at the masses. The Episcopal Church's services and that are similar to the Roman Catholic Church.
I'm Catholic, so.
So, well, you know what the elder servers do: carry the flags and the crosses and
Yeah.
serve the communion and do all that kind of stuff. Then, as I progressed, the priest was sick, and they had a layman doing one of the services, and I just jokingly said, "Do you want me to read one of the lessons?" And he said, "Sure." So I read a lesson. Well, the priest found out I read the lesson at the service, so he decided that I would read more lessons. So
Because you did a good job?
well, no, just because I was still in high school.
Oh, okay.
So I became a lay reader in the church, which simply meant I was licensed by the bishop to read the services. It's similar to the lectors that you have now in the Roman Catholic Church. But in the early days, the only one that did anything was either a deacon or a priest in the Roman Catholic Church. And it was basically the same thing in the Episcopal Church, except there were people licensed by the bishop to become lay readers. They had other responsibilities in reading, but after I did that, I went off to college. By the way, I met my wife in high school. We were high school sweethearts.
Okay.
And then as the church progressed, I became a member of the vestry, which is the governing body of the church. I was involved in teaching other acolytes. I was a lot of things, but primarily I was like senior warden. That's the president of the council. I was a junior warden. I was secretary, clerk of the vestry. I was ended up being treasurer. That was in 1986. I became treasurer of the church, and this is my last year as treasurer. I'm retiring.
Okay.
I'm retiring, not undefeated. I'm defeated. I give up. I took the job for 1 year in 1986, and I've had it ever since. So
So was it volunteer work?
it's fine.
Oh, okay. Do you still go to the church?
Yes, I'm still
Is
active.
like every week?
Yep.
Like what day? Sunday?
Well, usually on Sunday.
Okay. Because I
If
go to
there are
church on
special
Sunday.
services, I'll usually show up and very active in the church.
Okay, so what was your ethnic background? What where'd you know?
I really don't claim an ethnicity. I guess my family is primarily of English or Scottish descent. Probably more English with a name like Meadows.
Okay.
But I've never really traced it back to see. But that's my. But I mean, I'm not active in, like, if you're Polish, you could be in the Polish American Citizens Club and things of that sort of thing. I was never in an organization that worked on the ethnicity of the.
I just want to go back to the basketball thing. What position did you play?
Have any idea?
You had no idea. You just
I
went on
just
the.
played basketball.
Okay.
Obviously, I wasn't a singer, obviously, because I was not very tall.
Oh, okay. So
We
you
were
were
all
like a
about the
guard.
same. We were
Probably.
all about the same size and all about just as good.
Oh, okay.
That's not one of the highlights of my career in life as a basketball player. Kind of look at it as
Just
kind
did it because it was fun.
of, it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
We went out to the old YMCA on 28th Street, way out there in South Lorraine. That's where we
I'm
used to be.
I'm unfamiliar with the area. I live in Elyria.
Too bad.
I have grandparents actually that live down the road, the main road. Like they live down there, and then
Well, Levitt Road?
yeah, Levitt. You keep going down, and then I forgot what road it is, but you take a right, and it's like 666 something. They passed away. Like I don't even. I was like
Nicer
in
Road? Would
seventh
be
grade.
Nicer Road or?
It's like you go past this one church,
Oh, okay,
and
that's
then
probably 40th Street or something like that.
I could pull out my phone and do it, but it's recording. Anyways, do you have like a medical condition? I'm just wondering. Like, do you have a medical condition around?
What?
A medical condition like that I should be aware about? Like not like because you look perfectly fine to me, but I'm just wondering like if you don't have anything bad.
No,
I'm just wondering.
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I've had bypass surgery for my heart, and I've had kidney stones, and you can't get to be 80 years old and not have something go wrong.
So you got good health.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just was the doctor, and he said, I'll see you in 6 months, so that's a good indication as far as I'm concerned.
Okay then. So, any experiences you want to tell me about, like during your work, like your favorite memory, like one that pops in mind.
One of the things that I received most of my notoriety about was in South Lorraine. We had an old step-by-step office, and I was in charge of replacing that office. We built a new building. We made a computer-controlled switching network, which was the first one in this area. And that was, I think, one of the nicest things that I did. of course, I was, then when I went in to become network design management, most of my work really centered on budgets and things of that sort, so
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
get to do too much. At most engineers, you end up in management, and then
Was there much education required to be one of those people? Or no.
well,
Like get
you didn't have to. I happen to have a degree in engineering, but you didn't have to have had it. All the people that worked for me did not have engineering degrees. Uh, the fellow that was immediate predecessor of mine in the outside plant did not have a degree, but he was very knowledgeable about outside plant construction and things of that sort. So that was Dale Meredith. He was a real close friend. Matter of fact, he's the one that got me involved in senior fellowship that I'm a member of now with Rio and the East Side. So active in that.
Okay.
I got him involved in Lions Club because he was in Lions Club. You have to be invited to be a member of Lions Club. He was one of the people that I invited because he was.
What was the Alliance Club?
Big pardon?
What was the Alliance Club?
Lions Club. You never heard of it?
No.
Have you heard of Rotary Club?
The what?
Rotary Club,
No.
Kiwanis Club, Key Clubs
Key clubs? Like in like in school.
in high school.
Yeah.
Well, Key Club is related to or part of the Kiwanis Club. The Rotary Club is a service organization, as is the Lions. The Lions Club is an international association. There's clubs in 160, 170 countries throughout the world. Primarily in any free. They're not. You don't find them too much in communist countries, except that they are now moving into China. But it's a service organization based on a dedication to preserving sight, preventing blindness, and things of that sort. That's primarily what we do. Helen Keller, who was, you've heard of the famous Helen Keller.
Yeah.
She charged the Lions Club as an association to become Knights of the Blind, and they accepted that challenge and have been Knights of Sight ever since. So, working to prevent blindness, did a lot, was building schools in underdeveloped countries and things of that sort. It's
Okay. I think that is it, and we're gonna wrap that up. Is there any pictures you want to show me that you would like to show me about like your family, like you when you were younger? Because I need to get some of those.
I just
Like,
found one the other day.
you want me to give?
No, I'll bring it down. Up in my desk.
Okay. Well, everyone has a story. Okay, let's start with how were your working conditions in the Learning Telephone Company? Like, were they bad or no? Like, you had a white collar job, didn't you?
I did both.
Oh, you did both? Okay.
I started
Like,
out-
was there any difficulties on the job?
Not that nothing insurmountable.
Oh, okay. How about when CenturyTel bought the Learning Telephone Company? How'd you feel about that?
Well, at first I was apprehensive, but then as time went on, when I got to know the people, and you know, as in situation. If the people, you enjoy working with the people, the job's a piece of cake.
Okay, so you didn't. There was no change. You felt like there was no change.
Well, there was change.
Like
sure.
what?
Let's see, when Century or Centel, that was the big change.
Yeah, like what was the changes? Like the big changes.
From Lorraine, which was an independent telephone operation, totally standalone. I mean, we had our own accounting department, we had our own computer department, we had our own outside plant. We were self-contained. And then when we were acquired by, or merged with Centel, then the operating procedures of the other company came in. And in a short period of time, Centel sold the Lorraine operation, HA operation, which was just Lorraine, to Century, Tel, and Monroe. And the same kind of progression, not as rapidly, but same kind of progression took place. That, things that were there in place now were being farmed out, but it wasn't rapid. It was just that, in my case, I went from being a supervisor in the PBX department, private branch exchange department, and data and special services, to move over to manager of engineering department of the network design. My supervisor wasn't here in Lorraine, he was in Monroe, Louisiana. So this operation, the whole structure changed. And it happened not just in the engineering group, but in
All departments?
other parts, yeah.
Oh, okay. So your supervisor was in Louisiana?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did I ask you the hardest part about your job? What was the hardest part of your job that you remember?
Hardest part of my job.
Or was it a very easy job?
Well, I suppose keeping up with the technology, because
It always changes.
It changed so rapidly.
Okay.
Yeah. We went from step-by-step equipment, which you don't even know what that is, but step-by-step, we went to crossbar, which is another mechanical operation. As a matter of fact, I was in charge of the project of implementing the electronic office in Lorraine. Then we converted to digital equipment, and a lot of the other stuff came on, fiber optics and that kind of technology moved into the industry, and we had to adjust to it as well.
Okay.
A lot of learning. The evolution of technology, I guess, is the most interesting and most challenging part of the whole job. But my job when I ended up wasn't so much the technical end of it as the management end of it, as doing budgets and planning things in association with the people down in Louisiana.
Okay. What did you like about your job? Or did you like your job?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed my job. I enjoyed working with people, interacting with the people not only in the company, but the customer base, the people that I got to know in the community.
Okay. What part did you dislike, or were some of the hardest parts the ones you disliked, or did you like the challenge?
I like the challenge. I can't really say. Oh, I suppose in any job there's times when you wish you were someplace else, but I never really, I didn't want to work for Ohio Bell because that meant I'd have to travel to Cleveland, and I didn't want to, I didn't want to go into Cleveland. I didn't want to spend that time traveling back and forth, so I stayed in Lorraine. When Centel bought us, I could have transferred to Chicago. Well, I sure didn't want to go to Chicago, although I like Chicago. It's a nice town, but I didn't want to uproot my family and move to Chicago, so I took a lesser job here in Lorraine so I could stay here. But it was all right. enjoyed every job that I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even like all of them, the AMP, the Tivoli Theater.
Yep.
Uh,
The Tivoli Theater, the only problem was I didn't get paid very much, so I left there and went to the AP store. I enjoyed the job. Work with a bunch of nice people. That makes a difference.
did you Lorraine Telephone Company had a union, right?
Yes.
Did they work well with management?
As a matter of fact, I thought they did.
They did. So there were no strikes.
There was a one strike. Matter of fact, I was on the company side of the negotiating team.
So you were with management.
I was with management when they went on strike. I was also, prior to that, had been a president of the local union, just involved in those kinds of activities as a young worker. So.
Okay, so what was the strike about?
Well, I suppose I'm trying to remember what it was about.
Benefits,
Probably, but I think more
pay, working
it
conditions.
was more a matter of well,
Do you remember what year it was in?
no. Well,
Like decade, 80s.
I'm trying to remember. We were acquired in '78. It was before that. I would say probably mid-'70s.
Okay.
Like that. Maybe before. Yeah, it was mid-'70s because I went into management in the '60s.
Do you remember how long the strike was?
No.
Do you remember how it affected your life? Like the
I had
pay?
to work a lot of hours.
Huh?
I had to work a lot of
Oh,
hours.
so you what is it? Across the picket line.
Well, I was in management.
So you worked while
Mhm.
other people were picketing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were on strike. I wasn't on strike.
Okay.
I was the lead engineer on the South Lorraine office, which was electronic, and so that was my job during the strike to man that office, because I was one of the few people that in management that was familiar with it. So I worked a lot of hours.
Okay. Like how many hours did it compare to like your regular work schedule?
It varied.
Like
It varied.
like did it double when you were on
no,
when they were
no.
on strike?
You can't very well double somebody's hours.
No. Oh, how much work did you like? I mean, how much
I would
more
work, I
work?
would work like 12 hours a day or something like that. 5 or 6 days a week. But, I worked those kind of hours when I was in the craft as well, in the hourly. There were times when I would have to work. If something goes on in the telephone business, you don't wait till tomorrow to fix it. You fix it now because everybody's phones are out of order or something like that.
I mean, like, how much more work did you have to do? Not in hours, but like, out of those hours, how much more work did you have to do then?
It was a different kind of work.
Like, like the workload was put on you from other people that were on strike. Like, how if you were to put down a multiplier, like what would the number be? Like you did like 2 times as much work as you usually did.
Well, it's a totally different type of work. So you're taking out of, say, this pot, you put in this pot, and they're 2 different pots, and you just work in this. I had experiences as a younger man working in the craftsman role, doing the technician's work. Then when I went into engineering, I was doing more planning and laying out work and planning jobs and things of that sort, and seeing, ordering the equipment and that sort of thing. Well, then when this strike came on, then I had to go back to the crafts job, so it's a totally different environment. It's not like your supervisor on a line at the Ford, and you put in wheels, let's say. You watch somebody put in wheels and you schedule people to put in wheels. Then you go on strike, then if they're gonna run the production, you gotta put the wheels on. You have to actually do the work. And that's basically what happened in a strike. Some of them were supervisors and they had to go out and put up telephone lines and repair telephones and things of that sort. I didn't do that. I worked in the central office.
Okay. Did any of the other employees resent you for not going on strike with them?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I mean that's expected to happen.
Let's
I think a lot of that has to do with the way you treat people. I mean, you might.
So if you were nice to them and you
Well,
decided
you know, you can either have a good relationship with people or you can have an adversarial relationship with people. And if it's adversarial, whether you're on strike or not, people are not going to like it. They're not going to be concerned about you. Well, I liked people. I didn't care if they were in management or if they, if they were nice people and nice to me, I was nice to them. That's you just it's your personality that determines whether people are.
Let's backtrack to when you were in school. What was your favorite subject?
High school?
Like school. Like in school in general, what was your favorite subject?
I would say toward the end it was the science, chemistry, physics, math.
So you're a math guy.
Yeah, I enjoyed math.
Okay. And when you worked at Activity Theater, how was business there?
Oh, who knows?
You didn't know?
That was
You don't remember? Do you
well,
remember?
there were movies. People come to the movies, and
All the time?
I'd take tickets and show them to seats. You know, I didn't have a high tech job at that point. It's just 50 cents an hour. You're not going to do much of a demanding job.
Okay. About this neighborhood, what has this neighborhood changed a lot in your opinion?
This neighborhood is remained pretty well constant. It's changing now, but it's changing because the people who owned all of these houses have since passed on, and the families have sold them, and it's evolving from a homeowner neighborhood to a combination homeowner
Like a rent? Like
and,
you're talking about
and
rent?
rental
Okay.
properties. Like that house over there was owned by a guy, and he rented the upstairs to an older lady. But that was home ownership. That house was home ownership. So was that one. And that, as you go down the street. Well, now you go down the street, that's all rental property. That's homeowner. That's rental. That's rental. Homeowner. Homeowner on the corner.
So they're starting to evolve into like rent houses now instead of people buying.
Well, it's transitioning.
Okay.
Right now, but it's typically this neighborhood is and has been stable. It's still stable. I mean, it's not. I don't mean to imply that it's not stable. It's just evolving into a different type of neighborhood.
Okay. Was there like a certain race in this neighborhood? Like like there's like this could be like a. I'm just saying.
Was it ethnic? No.
Yeah, ethnic.
No.
It was very diverse back then.
Well, as far as I know, it was. I don't know what all the. I know it was diverse in religion, and it was also diverse in nationality. Although this neighborhood is predominantly or was predominantly white European.
What kind of European? Just European in general, or was there a specific?
No, it wasn't like this is not an Italian neighborhood or a Polish neighborhood. It was just a more of a medley of different. Of course, my background was my heritage is English and Scotch. Neighbors across the street, Slovak. The other, I don't remember what they're not. And my next door neighbor was Scottish, so there was that kind of a diversity. Down the street were Polish. I was, yeah, as far as I know, I don't know of any Italians in this neighborhood, you know, that you would say were Italian. Some across the street over here was Italian kid, but I think it's more of a medley of nationalities through here. Now there are some Afro-Americans, not. Oh, right across the street, there's a couple that live over there, there's a little black. And, for the most part, I'd say that's what's happening, is more, not so much the nationalities changing, but the home ownership. And there isn't that camaraderie that was there in prior times. We had big block parties and it grows off the street. Well, we don't have those anymore.
What were the block parties about?
Just a chance for
Gathering?
just the neighbors to get together and have a good time.
Where did you go? Like the block party, where was
It was
it?
right here. It was
Like on the street?
Just block this end of the street off and block it on that end. Put tables out there and kids would come out to this. That's the other thing that's happening. There's not too many young kids. When we came here, when we moved here, my wife and I, we moved here when our daughter was born, our first child was born. And there were, as she aged, there was a lot of kids in this block. She had a lot of friends. This block and around the corners. But as the same with my son, there were a lot of kids up and down the street. Now you don't see that. There's a few kids around, but not too many. Not like it was. It just, whether that's the change in population or not, I have no idea. But I know it changed the amount of children living in this neighborhood. It's not the same as it was.
Okay. What do you remember about the block parties? Like, what do you remember?
What I most remember about block parties is the people on the block did all the work for their friends that came in from other places, down the street. We'd work like crazy, entertaining our guests from. They were all.
You worked like crazy?
Well, sure. You have a big block party, and you have 100 people here.
Gotta clean
and
up afterwards.
You clean up, and you gotta cook the food, and you gotta there's games and all this kind of stuff. So we worked, and we all had fun. I don't mean to imply we didn't, but it was a hard work, planning and all that kind of stuff that has to go on. Getting the food, cooking the corn, frying the hamburgers and hot dogs and all that kind of stuff. So you get all the tables out into the street.
What was the main attraction to the block party?
Just
people being together?
Just people being together.
Like there was no sporting events?
No.
Because you probably could have a block party now and watch, like, I don't know, the Super Bowl, but it'd be February, so it'd be, be out in the snow.
Well, yeah, see, the block party is actually an outdoor.
Yeah.
It's like a, what do they call it at the football games where they get together?
Tailgate?
Tailgate parties. Similar to that, but not really related to a specific sporting event. It's just an opportunity to get together and get to know one another.
Was there a sporting event that happened there? No, never?
No.
Okay. If you were to live your life again, what would you do different?
Lord, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know what I do.
So you'd live your life exactly the same?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I had a good life and I enjoyed it. Had good times, had bad times. Matter of fact, right now are kind of sad times for me because my wife just died in February. So I don't know what I would do.
Do you have friends that
Sure.
are still alive?
Sure I have. Lots of friends.
Okay.
I'm involved in the Lions Club and Senior Fellowship and involved in the church, and that keeps me
Good that you got religion in you.
big one.
It's good that you got religion.
Yeah.
Very big.
So that's why I don't know what I would do different, whether I would have changed locations and jobs here, because I was offered a job at Lorraine Products in their sales and engineering department.
You were offered a job there?
Yeah.
And why'd you decline?
Didn't want to leave the job I had.
Oh. Was it because of the pay, or do you
No.
like the experience?
No. I just felt like I had a good job where I was. There was no sense for me to go from the technical part into, like, I think it was going to be a sales job over there. And I could have gone into Ohio Bell and gone to work for them, but well, I already told you I didn't want to drive 30 miles back and forth in that kind of traffic.
A lot of gas.
Yeah, gas wasn't all that expensive then. So. But it's just a lot of traffic.
Okay. I think that's about it.